Hey there guys, we are going to do an unboxing and assembly of this Yardbird Chicken Plucker. It's the 1.5 horsepower model. I've already unboxed it. Here's the drum. I've noticed it's got a dent right here, so I'm going to see if that's going to affect it or not. But there's the tub. Here's the other pieces. I'll open them up as we go along. And there's the motor, and that motor is pretty heavy. I did notice, I've already unwrapped this one here. This is a plus to me. That is a heavy, solid rubber tire. I was really expecting this to have some cheap plastic wheels to it, but no, this is thick, solid rubber. So that's going to help it go across some terrain, your backyard, gravel driveway, or what have you. So let's see what the rest of these pieces look like. These are going to be the wrenches you need to put this together. You need 10 millimeter, 13 millimeter, and a 16 millimeter. And let me give a shout out to Thurston Dog Bone. It's a dog bone wrench. This has 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 millimeter wrench. This is super cool to have in your toolbox. It's 8 wrenches in one. So shout out to them. Okay, so first step in the instructions is to put the axles together. It's got a 2-piece axle, pretty thick tubing here. So you're just gonna put the wheel on there with a washer and a lock nut. That's going to be step 1. So that was easy enough. That's what they should look like when you have them put together. Now we'll go to the next step. Okay, the next step is to put the legs onto the motor. Now put the motor on a piece of cardboard because the head sticks out of the bottom, and I think it's got gears on there, and I don't want it to get messed up on the concrete. So there are 3 different legs, and they're not interchangeable, so you have to put them on the right way. And let me make a note here. This is another thing I like. This kit comes with lock nuts, so they're not going to back out when this thing starts vibrating or you rolling it across the yard. So looking at these legs, I see this one's got an arrow indicator. Look at the motor. There's another arrow indicator. So I think what we're going to do, put that one there. This one has a bracket, also has a bracket for the axle. So I think that one's going to go there, leaving this one to go over here. Now, looks like the holes are going to line up, and if I do this and run this other half of this axle through here, looks like they're going to line up. You have to forgive me trying to do this one-handed. They are going to line up. So all we have to do now are tighten or bolt these legs onto the motor bracket. So I'm going to do that next. So the next step is going to put a feather plate, this funny looking thing, mounted onto the motor. Now they leave one plucker finger out so you can get in here and lift it up because it was inside the tub. So they give you another plucker finger, and you're supposed to put it down in here and mount it flush. If I can, may have to drop the camera, put this in. Hold on. Okay, so I got that plucker finger in there. That was not the easiest thing to do. I actually put a little lube on there to get it in there. So what we do now, put this plate over the shaft and look for that keyhole. Now saw this piece floating around. I'm glad I saved onto it, held onto it rather, because this goes in this little hole right here. I guess it only fits one way. There you go. And that is the key that locks the plate onto the shaft. So it's not the tub that spins around, it's going to be this plate that's mounted to the motor. And that's going to, these fingers are about, I think, 6 inches long, hard rubber. These are going to grip the feathers on the chicken and pull them off and actually sling them around. And what that's going to do is it's going to push that chicken around these feathers, I'm sorry, around these fingers here, and that's going to pluck the feathers off of it. So we got that mounted. So let's see what we do next. Oops, I got a little carried away with these finger pluckers. This actually needs to be bolted down in here. There's a domed washer, and so that bolts down. So let me put that on there real quick. Okay, let me save y'all like 5 minutes of headache. This bolt secures the feather plate to the motor on that shaft, and it is a left-hand thread. I spent 5 minutes trying to line it up properly, doing the traditional position rotation, but it is a left-hand thread. So I'm going to save y'all some time by giving you a heads up on that. I'll tighten that down in a second. Now these feathers down here, I'm sorry, these plucker fingers, I think what happens is the water will run down the side of the tub into this drain pan, and while this is spinning, these fingers are going to push all the wasted feathers down this drain chute right here. So that just goes around the bottom. So I think that's what the purpose of that's going to be. But we'll find out once we get it cranked up. But let me go ahead and secure this last bolt. Okay, so the next step is to put the tub on top of the stand and the feather plate. So this is going to be secured with 4 of these latches that will latch right here. Now, I noticed this arrow here, and I noticed another arrow here to line it. And what this is, there's a magnet right here. So what's going to happen is, let's see, I can't really see it, but this magnet will complete the circuit. So if these 2 magnets are not touching, the motor's not going to run. So let me put that on and show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, let me show you these 4 clips right here. When this plucker was packaged, it was packaged within itself, the motor inside the tub. And so they had these brackets on these latches keeping everything in place. So you do not need these brackets after this point. So once you put the tub on the stand, you simply use these latches here to secure it. And there's 4 all the way around. And here's another neat safety thing they thought about. They give you a carabiner to put in there, so there's no way that can come loose during the operation of the machine. Pretty cool. So let me get all these latches cinched down real quick. Okay, so here's the Yardbird Chicken Plucker all put together. Like I said, the tub just snaps onto the base, secured by these carabiners. And I didn't mention, I may have mentioned this earlier, inside the tub along the top there's an irrigation ring, so that's going to run water down here to help flush out the feathers. So that's what this hose connection is for right here. So I'm also going to remove this screw right here, the safety screw for the switch. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to that because that's a good idea to keep that locked in there so it doesn't get accidentally turned on when you're moving it around or storing it. So I'm going to do that, take that off, plug it in, and give it a test run. Okay, I've connected a garden hose to it. Let me turn that on and we'll run water through it. And this also has a GFCI protection outlet on there. You can see it's got power to it. So if it gets wet, it'll shut itself off and you have to reset it. But let me run water this, turn the motor on, and see what we got going on. Okay, there you go. Turn the water on. You see how the irrigation ring is running water through there. And it's got the drain down there. And I think it'd be a good idea to get this off the ground or above water. Alright, so we're going to turn the motor on. And you see how the center plate spins. It's going to lift the chicken up in the air. And it's going to get bounced around these fingers here and knock the feathers off. So as far as putting it together, we've got it all together. So in a couple of days we'll try our first run with the chickens. Turn this off. Pretty cool. Hope this comes in helpful. And make sure you watch us later on when we process our first birds.